So let's start. Today's topic, I have done some research uh, in my own university and in a couple of other university as well. So I'm going to share that the results, that how we can, and in Pakistan, how we are using it. Uh, like it's somehow it is known as that Chat GPT, so-called, is like a at the earlier stage of technology when calculator invent. So somehow many scientists were of the view that it's the usage of calculator will won't allow the brain of a child to polish and to nurture, so that it can capable of calculating in the future perspective. So but somehow we know that calculating a calculator was uh, the mean of technology to use to basically ease of your daily task and your computational stuff. So same goes for this. Like I consider that Chat GPT and all these LLMs and generative AI models will ultimately be in calculator at that time, and it will definitely help us in pursuing the higher education to involve the students and to build upon it in the further in the future coming. Uh, Today's agenda, which I'm talking about, is we start with the introduction, the role of generative AI, and after that, I will be talking about what is automated assessment, what is feedback mechanism, what is case studies, and the case studies which we have discussed, which we have particularly implemented over here and gets the result. So I will be sharing that as well. Then the ethical consideration of that. After that, we will be talking about the implementation strategies in the future direction and conclusion. And at last, we will have a question and answer session. To start, let's briefly cover what generative AI is for a layperson. Imagine like a skilled apprentice. It can learn from vast amount of data, generate new content, and assist in various tasks. In education, this means AI can help create and assess assignments, provide feedback, and personalize learning experiences to the students. Today, we will explore how these technologies and transforming assessment and feedback in higher education will work and benefits overall the teaching and learning communities. Let's look at the framework that was Kate Lindsay in 2023. It's approaching an AI and university assessment. This framework, as shown in the figure, breaks down the integration of AI into three major aspects: technologies, literacies, and pedagogies. Regarding the technologies, it's particularly focusing on building institutional capacity by leveraging AI. Think of it as an equipping our classroom with a smart assistant that can manage routine tasks and provide personalized support. Literacies, emphasizing extending the digital capabilities of students. It's akin to teaching students and staff to drive in a world where AI-powered vehicles are of the norm. We need to understand how to operate, manage, and benefit from these technologies. The third one is the pedagogies. Promotes human agency in the education. It's about ensuring that AI serves as a tool to enhance the human creativity and critical thinking. Rather than replacing it, it's about using technology to empower students to achieve more. That's what I will be sharing the results as well, that what it speaks around. This framework sets the stage of our discussion today by highlighting the multifaceted role of AI in transforming the higher education. Let's start with what is the major role of generative AI and what is basically generative AI. As long as the layman person is concerned, generative AI like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, and others has the potential to transform many sectors, including healthcare, finance, and notably education. And they are particularly revolutionizing it in this current era. In education, AI can significantly enhance teaching and learning experiences by automating repetitively tasks and providing personalized support to the students. Think of AI as an tireless AI tutor available 24/7 to all the students. Like in today's Chat GPT latest version, we can develop our own GPTs, which will be a customized form of tutor to the student for a particular module, for a particular topic as well. What's the limitation of traditional assessment method? Traditional assessment methods often involve manual grading, which can be time consuming, inconsistent, and subject to human biases. It's like waiting weeks for a letter to arrive when you could be getting an email instantly. These delay can hinder the learning process, making it clear that we need a more efficient, reliable, and immediate assessment system. Uh, Most of them, the traditional assessment, it's a manual paper grading, generalized feedback most of the time to the students, and it won't be a constructive sort of feedback to students on which a student can build upon. Uh, so what's basically automated assessment? Automated assessment offers several benefits. Starting from efficiency, definitely we can grade hundreds of essays in a time in a single click of a button, of a mouse button. It used to be grade like hundreds of essays in a minute. It can handle large volume of uh, task or sort of an assessment to grade, to assess, to provide feedback instantly and accurately. About the consistency, it's a well-calibrated scale. AI ensures that every piece of work is judged by the same standards, reducing the human biasness. Because by when we will like developing our own GPT, we would be given the particular rubric to that GPT, and we will be like using that rubric to assess the to evaluate the of the assessment. Uh, it will be definitely providing immediate feedback. It will be time saving. Major potential benefits of automated assessment with generative AI, starting from personalized evaluation and guidance, frequent formative assessment, deeper evaluation of critical capabilities, multimodal assessment, reduced grading burden for instructors, enhanced reliability and fairness, rich diagnostic data and actionable insight. Uh, we can, a tutor or a module leader or a faculty can use its time in developing more critical thinking approach based assessment to the students, where like in this era, like student can use these generative, because we are developing the questionnaire or like an exam or courseworks by using GPT. If for an example, so student can use that GPT as well to provide an answer to the faculty or to the tutor. So what would be the best way to tackle this particular issue which we were facing in the last few months? Uh, Basically, we used to provide a sort of an assessment, which is an interactive sort of, like a by using the drag and drop capabilities, by using the different sort of like a question within a question to provide an answer to the students. So that sort of thing can be managed by the faculty or tutor at that time. Regarding the feedback mechanism, uh, as I just said that it's a personalized feedback. It's like a personal coach. Like if we are like practicing at cricket, and a coach is like here to provide me a personalized sort of a guidance. It's a tailored sort of advices to me. So that sort of personalized feedbacks to a student by a GPT or by a sort of a system developed by the tutor. So that is more timely and constructive to provide a best learning environment and best constructive feedback environment to student, so that student can uh, understand those feedback and build upon it and then provide a solution on it. It definitely reduce workload. on the faculty, and it handle multiple tasks for the tutor to manage in spite of developing these sort of questionnaires for the students. And continuous improvement is one of the I think that as we know that all the generative AI is continuously, they are continuously improve the version of their LLM models, their learning models. So I think that like this, if we develop a habit of continuously using of generative AI portals or platforms for this purpose, it will definitely provide an improvement to the students. As long as this grading is concerned, I would like to share that we have faced the grading efficiency of our students, where as compared with the human grading, we have seen that the efficiency provided by the AI grading is slightly better than the human AI grading. And regarding the consistency, we see that AI grading is performly like much better than the human AI grading. I would like to add one thing over here, that it's the data which the graph which we are showing is from like it's like a students from 1,120 students from my university and 1,950 students from the government college university, Faisalabad University. So we take the data from all these, we implement this particular platform of generative AI in these two institutions, and we gather the data on it and build some results based upon those surveys and feedbacks and results. Regarding the case studies, to particularly more better understanding the practical impact of generative AI, I will be like discussing both universities' cases, like the Beaconhouse International College and the Government College University Faisalabad case for their students. So I will be like delivering that in the next slide. Case study 1, it's the automated essay grading. We collaborate with the English Literature Department of GCUF and requested the faculty to use the platform of generative AI to automate the grading of their essays. That system was implemented, and we get all the essays, grades, and the feedback which we get from the students and the tutor were shock or sort of shocking. It's like having a team of expert graders working around the clock to provide the quickest feedback to students on their essays. I would like to share the results that the grading speed increases. We've used it for the 12 months. We have been using it before 4.0 and ChatGPT. It's particularly based upon the ChatGPT. So I can say that results showed that a 17% increase in grading speed and a 21% improvement in student performance. The feedback which we asked from the students, they say that the major shift, the major reason for performing better is the feedback time period. They are of the view that we get the feedback as soon as possible. They submit their assessment on the portal. So that is one of the reasons that students have a plenty of time and a more constructive feedback, so that they can perform, they can manipulate, or they can like change those the particular essays according to the constructive feedback provided by the AI tutor. After that, the case study 2, as I belong to a computer science domain particularly, so we tried to implement it in our campus. We are we are working, we implemented it in the 3 campuses of Beaconhouse International College, and we use the code signal and lead code, which provide a real-time feedback to the students. This particularly helps students to identify and correct their coding mistakes immediately, enhancing the learning experiences overall. The impact has been so significant that students have more engagement with the particularly programming-based tasks provided by the tutor, and we have seen that 25% more student engagement inside the classroom and the task provided by the tutor for in the scenario of an assignments, and 20% learning outcomes were more developed as compared to the traditional feedback system in programming related assignments. We can see the slowly progressing chart of engagement level of students in Beaconhouse International College. It's basically the at the 8th month of the implementation, we've seen a dip in the engagement because during that there was a holiday and students were not of the very much interested in like a providing the feedback. It's not particularly on the it's a semester based system. It's a 2 semester based data, and we took all the quizzes and all the assignments and the coursework for this particular study. So we can easily see that it's like around 21% improvement in performance over the 2 semesters. Educators and students' preference of an original and adaptive statement. This graph particularly shows the student adaptability of the AI system in essay and in coding, and we separated with the educator, the tutor, and the students. So we have seen that as long as tutors, the educators and the tutors are like adopting it very quickly, and it's, as we know, that it's a very user-friendly environment for that as well, and student used to adopt it little bit slower, but they are sort of being more productive after using that platform. This particular graph share the educator and student uh, different task-based assignment, and within the semester we are sharing that mean result of a single semester, that how student and teacher are collaborating to this particular AI-based assessment and feedback system. This is one of the example that what we used to ask a student. That student is asking the GPT to generate a 500-word essay to impact on the topic of an impact of climate change on global agriculture. As we know that we know that Turnitin provide an AI-based plagiarism as well. So this particular capacity, this particular of the platform is used to guide a student, not to provide a complete essay. It provides the pointers to generate a 500-word essay, so that student have an opportunity to build upon those points with their own capacity and capability, and in the meanwhile they are like enforcing the student capacity to build by providing pointers to them. These are top 10 different assessment AI-based tool for the assessment and feedback system. So we have used particularly the ChatGPT, but these are very beneficial for the students because ChatGPT is sort of in a free tool, so that student can get easily access to it. And these tools, which I'm like depicting on the screen, it has some fee and monthly packages. So but the result by them is sort of an competitive to the ChatGPT as well. Regarding the implementation challenge, there are challenges definitely. We have been facing multiple challenges from by using this technology from the parents, from the tutor, from the educator society, community as well. Parents are of the view that by using these AI tools, the capacity of our student to thinking to like the activity to provide a brainstorming to the students will be get affected. But what we have seen in the last complete year, we have seen that students are more productive by using those GPTs because these GPTs enhance and enforce, it provide an enforcement, like a reinforcement learning sort of environment to the student, so that they can think on those points and work on themselves. So the major technology-based challenge is the integration of AI with the existing system. As we have developed our own platform, it's not like a complete chat GPT. We are using the chat GPT API to integrate with our portal, and students use the LMS provided by our university, and AI is integrated, and the chat GPT is integrated with that. So that as long as the technical challenge is concerned, that was one of the major to develop that platform for our students and for the teachers. And one I have already shared that the parents were very reluctant and they are of the negative view that it will harm the student capacity. But now we have shared these results with the parents, with the student, with the university community as well. So they are quite appreciating us. I have taken this picture from the UNESCO. They are working on the AI based teaching and learning model. Dr. Fucci is working on it. They're of the view like what we are working on. It's a little bit on the same pattern. They are asking for the LMS and integration with generative AI, and based on that, a lesson generator and the AI-based assessment. But the major portion which is visible to the students is not any generative AI application or tool. It's the LMS which provides an interactive and learning environment to the student. Regarding the future direction, advances in AI technology will definitely continue to enhance educational tools. What I consider is that this generative AI and LLM models is just the start of a new revolutionizing era. So it will definitely provide more assistance and build more capacity within the student community and the educators community as well. There is a potential of adaptive learning system that offer highly personalized learning experience. In today's era, where we have like a bunch of students in a classroom, and in sort of a moment that it won't be possible to provide a personalized learning, a personalized feedback to each student. So what we are considering it that the generative AI based teaching and learning module, which we are working on, because we have developed the AI assessment and feedback system till now, and our technical team is developing the teaching and learning module for the student to integrate with the LMS. So that is the future direction. Where the student used to learn the major core concept in the classroom, but after that, if like currently we are providing a support hours to the student by the tutor, by the educator, but what we are working on that we can develop a system so that like a student in her home, if it needs some assistance regarding the core theoretical concept, so that LMS will provide a more interactive and personalized AI-based learning or like a tutor system to the students. While finally, to wrap it up, we've discussed how generative AI is transforming higher education through automated assessment and feedback. We have shared two case studies which we have been working since last year. One is with the GCUF and one is the BIC. It's basically provide a clear embarrassing that AI can bring in significant benefits from increased efficiency to personalized learning experience. I encourage all educators and institutions to explore and adopt, and finally to come up with some solution to provide an integrated generative AI based LMS or learning platform for the students, which would be like controlled by the tutor, managed by the tutor, so that a student can get better understanding of core concepts and more productive. That's all from my side. I think I won't take much time from you guys. Thank you for bearing me. I really appreciate that. And floor is open for any questions and query, please.
Thank you so much, Fawad. Very interesting and impressive. Risha and I were having a little back and forth in the private chat, and we think there might be a good amount of questions and discussions from this talk. So
yeah, sure.
Everybody, please feel free to either drop your questions in the chat or just open your microphone. It would be very nice also if you could share your face on the camera, if you're okay with that. I want to lead off with one question though, which I think will be useful for everyone here. If you could talk a little bit more about the process of, do I understand correctly that this has been implemented for essay writing and programming so far in a big way at your university? So it's been this project of using generative AI for automated assessments. It's been implemented for essay writing and for programming as well?
Beg your pardon, can you please repeat that again?
Sure. I am wondering about the process of, if we take one of your projects, let's say essay writing, or using generative AI for automated assessment of essay writing, or using it to teach programming. How did you go about validating? How did you go about making sure the quality assurance? Because that is a big concern, that the assessment might have some issues or might have some hallucinations, and so on. So you showed a chart where there are things in which generative AI is considered very useful for and very good for automated assessment. And there are things where it's considered maybe less useful or less accurate.
Yeah, particularly as long as I just shared that to provide the particular assessment feedback, we used to develop our own GPTs. And in that GPT, we provide the rubric system. We provide the complete rubric. We provide the complete solution. And GPT is just to use that particular sort of knowledge base for assessing. So what GPT basically does that it check the complete assessment and compare it with the solution. And by using that rubric, it provide an feedback to the system. So as long as your question of providing a quality assurance, we before launching that, we used to have a particularly 2 month based rigorous a trial based, so that we know that the way to provide the knowledge base to the GPT to get an accurate sort of a feedback for students. So that has been tackled before launching this platform.
So if I understand correctly, you are providing a reference solution, or perhaps more than one, and you are also providing a detailed rubric for assessment, and you work on that for a couple of months to make sure that the error rate is low and so on, or at least not worse than a human expert, because the human experts are not always 100%. So, but if just to wrap this up, I guess, but of course, with some disciplines or with some subjects that we are teaching, it might be more difficult to provide what a correct solution looks like, or what an assessment, to come up with a detailed assessment rubric. I'm guessing that for programming, for example, it might be easier.
Yes. As long as the programming assessment is concerned, it's much easier as compared to others, because in other sort of courses or subjects, we have the multiple figures and tables. So that was an issue which we faced during the testing as well, and that's the particular that like a doable or working area for us.
Thank you so much. So that's very clear. When we're
We have a question from Taronish.
Yeah.
They're asking for the quasi experimental design. We use propensity score matching to create a control group that was comparable to the treatment group. So that is the one of the way which we have designed and work on that.
There any published papers or studies that you're either working on or that have been published already that people could check out?
Beg your pardon, please? Can you repeat
any,
that?
Papers that you have published on these studies, or that you are working on, or that you will be presenting?
Yeah, I will share that as well. It's on my Google Scholar as well. I've published a IGI global publisher based book chapter as well, and one of the paper in Helion has been published. It's on the AI-based personalized learning pathways for the higher education students, and another paper is under review, which is regarding the developing a framework for AI-based teaching and learning for students. I'll be sharing the link with you.
Excellent. People here are asking for your contact details, email address. I'm working on the same lines for my doctoral research, Jahil Barad. By any chance, can we take Dr. Naseer's contact details? So I don't know.
I've just shared my email address.
Okay, excellent. And people are also asking for the slides separately. Fawad, if you're okay with that, maybe you can send it to me afterwards and we will share.
Yeah, sure, definitely.
Thank you so much. We have Sophie. Sophie, do you want to unmute, or would you prefer that I read out your question? Up to you. Just let me know.
Sure, I can unmute and elaborate a bit. I was just, so first of all, thank you so much for a really interesting presentation. I was curious regarding both case studies that you presented, specifically the automated essay grading, but also the instant feedback. How was the teachers involved in the provision of the feedback or grading, or was the teachers involved in these processes before it was distributed to the students? Maybe you could share or elaborate a bit on that.
Yeah, before, as I've just said that we develop and train that GPT before launching this platform. But as long as the assessment has, before releasing the assessment, tutor has definitely, the educator or the faculty used to discuss that assessment with the student. But regarding the feedback, we have used only this generative AI-based assessment, and this is the only way which students get a feedback for their assessment. It has been working for a number of students which we're working on, and this is particularly how we worked so far.
Okay. And is it
no human involvement in the feedback? Sorry.
Yeah, no human involvement. And is it so I assume it's formative feedback and assessment, and it's not summative.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
Welcome.
I have got a very small, quick question. Because I work on student engagement, and I know it is very difficult to engage them, in teaching learning process at this point of time. And you have said that you have seen that their engagement increased actually. So what were the tools, or how you have measured that student engagement level augmentation?
Yeah, initially when we launched that, the most interesting part was the student was of the view that let's go and check our assessment by using the generative AI. Let's see how it responds. So that was the initial like sort of a clicky effect. Like it was a very like a unique sort of experience for our students. So initially we got an increased engagement with that perspective in the background of the student mind. And after like after 2 to 3 months and prolonged for these years, a student is of the view to get more constructive feedback. Although we have a very learned and very qualified teachers over there for to provide feedback and provide guidance on this assessment, but student is of the view that that particular generative AI LMS will provide a personalized sort of, it can have a more solid pointer, more it can correlate with the mistake which they have done. So that was the major thing, that students get more engaged with that particular platform.
Okay. Thank you.
I have a quick follow-up question.
Yes.
To do with the assessment. Sophie mentioned the summative assessment or the grade, if students are actually graded on an assignment. So if I understand correctly, summative assessment is still being carried out by the human instructors without the use of generative AI. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And is that done just once at the end of the semester or the end of the course, or are there touch points throughout?
We used to like for the assignment, it's a formative assignment, and at the end of the semester they have a formative exam and coursework as well. So we used that platform for the month, for the semester long assignments as well, and for the final coursework submissions and examining for coursework submissions.
So if I understand correctly, throughout the course,
Mm.
all the feedback is being given by the generative AI.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so does the instructor even view or look at the assignments, or just at the end when there is the final assignment and so on?
Like as long as our LMS system is concerned, it provide a summarized on a daily basis summary to all the faculty that these students have checked their assessments on the LMS, and these are the assignments. So tutor has a complete view of the assessment. We used to like a cross check and cross verification that the GPT assessment and the tutor feedback, and then compare that, and like this we continuously improved our GPT, and we improved how to create more effective GPT model for our students.
So even today, there is an element, even though I'm guessing it's becoming less and less of an effort, but there is still an element of human verification to some degree of this feedback. It doesn't take as long as giving the feedback, but if I understand correctly, there is a human in the loop at some point.
For this 12-month long period, and for the 2 semester, for the number of students which we have communicated, they have no human feedback for that time period.
Understood. Very, very interesting. Anybody else has any questions or comments? Please feel free. I know it's a very interesting discussion, and since we have a recorded talk today, of course, you can leave your questions and Joe will answer them in the LinkedIn group. But we do have a bit more time. If people have some more questions or comments, you can leave them in the chat or just unmute yourself. Sophie, I see that you had a follow-up. Did you have it answered already, or?
Which one?
Sophie.
Yeah, that was my original question, but I do have a follow-up, actually. I was just wondering, because I work a lot with the technology students, and so technology students working on very complex problems on a collaborative basis. And I was just really curious about case study 2, where you mentioned it was within the programming course. What characterizes the assignments that students they get the feedback on? Is it first of all, is it on an individual basis or collaborative basis? Do they work alone or in groups? And secondly, is it would you describe it as sort of simple problems or more complex problems?
It's for the, first of all, it's for the individual based. It's not for the collaborative or group based assessment. And regarding that nature of task which you are asking, like it's a easy, definitely it's not hard and it's not an easy. It's a moderated sort of an programming based assessment, because I myself is teaching that particular module. Like we have a course name Introduction to Programming, and we used to deliver the JavaScript to all the students. We used to train our students in the first semester for the JavaScript. So for that, let's say that let me share that one of the tasks that developing a sun and make a sunset on it. It's make an animation of that. So that is one of the tasks which we used to give in the first semester, in the first 2 weeks to the students. So these are sort of an like task which we being asked from the students.
Interesting. And just a more speculative follow-up. So could you imagine in the future we could see a scenario where student groups collaborating on complex problems? Do you think that this solution could be scaled in that context?
We haven't worked on that, but definitely it's a the technology is evolving and very rapidly. So I think that would be time is not far for that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Really fascinating talk, Fawad. And thank you for making the time to speak with us.